Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LPL 2025 Split 2.
He's just teleported mid. JJ's on bot side. They're not covering the dive. The wave is stacked up. He needs to get himself to level 4. What's his W cooldown looking like?
Did he even stack the W? Sometimes you just throw it at a level 2. Gets to level 4 coming on forwards. Gets a decent chunk back, but it's just nowhere near enough. The ignite comes down. And that damage additionally alongside there's a control ward in that bush. Overcomes Mako as well. They want to try and make this play happen as the grubs are
the control ward's not in the brush. It's not in the brush, so it doesn't spot them coming straight through. Sassy will. He's already had to flash. That's a problem.
Has had to burn that flash. Hit with the needlework. Throws down the equalizer to try and lay a red carpet to run down and escape. The slow's not quite enough. And in the end, JJ with a flash will help secure it with that XQW. Invade here. Actually some good wards around, but JJ is here.
That's good spider away. YCX going forwards. They do have climber on the flank, remember?
XQW flashes away from the charm, so it means the cease and desist sends the side of JJ under the tower will fall down here as Rookie now needs to be in danger as out comes the Hound's Pursuit. Mako trying to buy some space. Just try to immune the charm. Can't quite do it with the W, so the call of the pack doesn't get much more than the flash there out of Rookie.
I played Fort Joy for about 60 hours. It was too much. Rookie pushing in, going to a ward and coming out of Fog of War. The master of Fog of War himself, Rookie, comes to join the play.
The original Fog of War flanker, not number 2. The first one is Xiaoya is in danger. He got into the air briefly. The charm just wide. But that's flash, that's exhaust, that's ult down. And then Y6 and Climber splits off from the team because the AD carry cannot be here. Equalizer is good. It's just not enough. Rookie using that ult charge to potentially chase down Climber. He's only got a single doggo with him. And unfortunately, that does not make a pack.
Yeah, and XQW doesn't have the teleport. LG thought maybe they were just safe to go towards the objective, but now Sassy has Ignite, has Flash, can't teleport away from the play. He's getting gunned down by the Shy, though. The needlework goes through.
Ouch! And in comes a cease and desist, and the Rumble just has to sit there and die.
The acceleration has come online now from IG. They're going to go back towards the Grubs and make it 3-3 in the overall Grubs score. But more importantly, Rookie gets both summoners and the ult gone just from a really good angle. Rookie goes like, look, I don't have to just throw the charm blindly over the wall or something. Well, not blindly over the wall, but I don't have to throw it loosely over the wall. Let's just get the guaranteed summoners and ult gone. IG will see that dragon go down. First dragon of the game over to LGD. My problem with this is, yes, dragons are good. Problem is, you need to get multiple of them for them to become a win condition. I don't know if you're going to be powerful enough to fight against that, against IG. Sassy does have flash. You might have to use it. Ult in 5 seconds from Rookie. JJ won't have his.
2-1, there it is. Steps forward, Charm at point blank range into a Vault Breaker. Gets a bit of speed up from the Nimbus Cloak and keep on chasing, and the Foxfire does its work. Ult resets, very, very clean.
6 out of 10 stacks on the Dark Seal, and Rookie keeps going. This is exactly why I was excited to watch this as I remain. Teleport on the other side. LGD try and slap back. Can they get anything out of this?
Mako's now going to get potentially jumped on. Will try and time the grand entrance. Fails somewhat. Mako flashes the other way. Can battle dance away. Climber looking to get the reset. Does so. That'll give Hound's Pursuit part 2. Can they get anything more here? Going to try and dash away. Does so pretty well, but the knockup comes on down. Turret shots do a lot of work. The needlework is brutal, but then they come! As Gala's here. Gets one back. Looking for that last auto. Flash from Climber will not keep them thus alive. As, oh my days, SQW comes off the wall. Another passive shot. And another kill towards Gala. 3 for the AD carry. Gala has to burn his 2. But hey, for Kai'Sa now very, very scary. And you've only got 1 exhaust, so that's on Xiaoya. He's going to try and use it to survive all the dive coming his way. XQW Flash is still hit with the charm. Under turret we go. Seraph's a decent shield. Last order would do it. Just about goes down. Loses all the stacks of the Dark Seal, but gets the kill.
I don't think they realized that Saros has completed that. Not gonna lie, I feel like they misunderstood that shield. As IG, they do get a... I wonder at that point whether JJ should actually lose his life instead of Rookie to preserve the stacks. I would have done that. Because you don't want to be losing them, but all the same, Rookie... I mean, he gets another kill for himself. The gold is still in pocket. And JJ will take a full tower there. JJ, he's going to get ahead of the game, getting towards himself closer towards Black Cleaver.
Hilariously, after the shutdown gold went over, the Talia is ahead in gold.
That'll do it for you. When you're taking, when you got those plates on bot side as well. Rookie, the aggro. You see right here, Rookie chooses to... yeah, no, it's a bit hard to get out there. You can't really get through the minefield. Harold is up. Rookie on top side. Jedger coming in as well.
YCX trying to headbutt away to buy some time, but in comes SQW with the wall. Not fantastic. Means he's actually trapped on the wrong side of this. YCX with the ult though, buying a lot of time. Hound's Pursuit comes in with Mako. Will immediately throw down the quickness, exhaust onto Gala, denies a lot of the damage. The barrier comes on through Rookie. In the middle of everyone, goes down. Gala gets one back. Good ult, but it's well read from Xiaoye, who flashes to pull the feathers through him. Ends up being a 2 for 2.
It does. IG, not a great fight for them. Honestly, given how far ahead he just ends up going into melee range of the Alistar. That's a big mistake. He doesn't even need to headbutt to get that pull on target. Big mistake from Rookie in his positioning of his ult.
Xiaoye, who's now 5-1. This Kai'Sa at the Rage Blade already. Very, very scary. A good combo there from YCX. Messing up Riz, of course. The Gala has picked up 5 kills, whereas Xiaoye, outside of a really classy little flash feather pull, is in danger, but all the while...
Atakan's just gone.
Atakan's just gone.
Yep, and IG, well, we're asking him, hey, how are you going to use that Fog of War as a weapon? Well, one thing is using it on those objectives, and this is how they use it for the fight.
Climber will try to go invisible and invulnerable, but a wonderful grand entrance. Gets a kill. Sassy goes down after. Double over to the Kai'Sa. They'll lose the Vi in trade. But once again, they come on through. Rookie lands another decent charm. Can't quite follow up too much, but the Shy's got some needles to throw at people. Welcome to the acupuncture session. And LGD go, yeah, no, thank you. Not interested.
Drops the exhaust, runs away. Gala stops a recall there, and Gala gets even more gold. The baton has been...
Largely, he hasn't gotten that much out of the single kill this game. They have Herald still, and they'll manage to charge it topside. That's about all they've managed to pick up, really, in the last 5 minutes. All the while, Rookie's on this bot side, picking up a tier 2.
And he's very happy with that. Completed the Leandries into the second. I know that some people are saying, oh, is Rookie going to go for the Leandries build? This has always been a different build. They're going to dive onto mid lane. That is a very, very dead Talia. So not only will be taking that bot lane in a turret, they'll be taking the mid lane outer. However, the Herald with 4 members topside will be forcing IG into a decision.
That's just the Shy dying. The combo comes on through before he can get the Hallowed Mist down, so the rest of the damage flies on through from a long, long way away. They get the Herald charge in. They don't have the Herald die, just out of range of that Q from Ari. Finally brought low by Mako, but honestly, not bad from LGD.
I mean, yeah, but now they're losing in a turret mid, at the top lane, mid, and bot lane, which they took earlier. The recall's going to be stopped from Climber, so he's not going to be able to stop the Dragon. So it's Dragon, Dragon, and 3 turrets for 2. Salved in the sights of the dive combo. Sassy now comboed onto.
And then goes Gala, going to try and get some damage back. The Equalizer comes on down, but the red carpet for the Prince of Pentas comes on through. And unfortunately, the bouncer says your credentials have been denied. Get headbutted.
Break open this game. The side lanes are already so difficult. This will go into a Baron if they were to play him. Remember, they have the Ruinous Atakan buffing up their grubs and dragons already.
Little note there, actually, the Hex Drink picked up by Climber, I think, into the Ari and the Gwen. I think that makes some sense to me here. Hell, even the Kai'Sa, who's gone for the Rage Blade, has got a fair amount of AP to her name at this point as well.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, particularly because you can use those resist on your other shields too, from your Eclipse and from your ult if you get that. However, while all this is happening, LGD don't get themselves a Baron Star or a Baron Angle, and they give up an inhibitor turret.
This is a guy who was notorious for the advantage he could pull out of lane and for his absolutely wild champion pool. I still remember the Kalista top. Sassy eats about half his HP bar there.
Gwen's going back towards bot side. Gwen's going back towards bot side. LGD don't find themselves a fight. Rookie says, look, we're playing for disengage. Let's go make sure I get out safely. Burns the ultimate, but Gwen gets herself probably the whole inhibitor by this point. LGD need to find a fight. They can't wait until the Gwen just destroys her inhibitor. Sassy's going down to answer, but Rumble all he can do is what? Wave Nowadays, clear? You pretty much always have your ult if you play around it defensively. Yes, you'll have to wave clear for a couple of ways, but it's not that problem. The Shine needs to pop his Ghost.
Has his Hallowed Mist down. Climber looking for an angle, but JJ is there to defend. Turn around now, potentially coming on through his Rookie. Goes looking for Sassy, who flashes away. And JJ is very deep and just dies. Nice combo back, and suddenly there's a reset on the House Pursuit. Shy steps on forwards. Looking for an angle now is Rookie, who gets the charm, flashes on out. XUW then has to return his own flash away. Health bar's low, but honestly a kill onto your jungler as Gala into the backhand has got the GA. XQW goes golden, still alive, an auto away from death. Finally goes on down as the Acathian rain pours all over the side of LGD. Xiaoye in danger, goes up into the air, flash away, exhaust on down to Gala, who's got the Guardian Angel, will be back alive. Mako looking to defend him. Ari gets that kill. Gala tried away as Climber eviscerates on out, goes untargetable. Rookie gets the double and ends up being a 4 for 4 somehow.
IG use their AD carry as the Wrecking Ball, but it isn't a clean fight. Rookie has his ultimate coming up in a few seconds, but IG started that play. Even with an even fight, will get themselves the Dragon afterwards, so they win in the objective game.
Love to see the replay there, because honestly, that stopwatch was about...
That exhaust, which you were calling out earlier, so important versus the Kai'Sa. Gala not able to get the cleanest fight he wants. Onto the Baron.
Back to the Baron we go, and that last fight, LGD burned every single flash, basically. So they don't have it all available aside from any on YCX. That proves really problematic now. Sassy sidesteps the charm, but has to backstep to do it. And that means he's not running away, even with the scrap shield speed up. And then the last bit of the needles comes on through. The Shy, not overstepping this time, got blown up mid-fight. Going into 4. And they lose their top laner. Dragon was also secured, and before they survived the last fight, they burned every tool and the kitchen sink in order to do so last time around.
You know, given that Rumble is the split 2 so far, standard lane's looking to really impact this player. 700 gold from the inner turret too. It'll increase that gold to
70 CS up in that matchup. That's rough. That's really, really, really rough. Over the wall they go. Rookie gets a decent charm angle. Maker goes in as well. They get the ult out of YCX. Still got an ult charge remaining. I don't think he's going to go over the wall because he doesn't have the flash. He can just stand here and look to be as obnoxious as he wants to be.
The Gwen hitting the turrets with the Ruinous Atacam buffing up only the 3 grubs, but still there. Towers just don't exist to this champion. So that's going to be Inhibin bots still down for the next few seconds. So that'll be the last wave of super minions has already spawned. Top lane Maker goes in, finds him.
Oh boy. XQW gets to go golden, headbutt into the wall. YCX is trying, House Pursuit at the backside, trying to get that reset onto Mako. Can't get it, finally, but dies on the way out, no escape. The needles come flying on through, and the cow just about stands this time around.
Charm.
They do land the charm, down goes Sassy. And they get another kill. Rookie on the rampage. Seen that one once or twice. This spell goes flashing on forwards for another charm. The exhaust comes on through though. Headbutt is also there, and Rookie can't secure the kill. Nice exhaust again from Xiaoye.
Nice exhaust, nice Dallas to play. LGD do pick off the mid laner of IG as Garland now left alone.
Sidesteps the seismic shove. SQW now in danger as the Vault Breaker comes on through and they lose the Talia. Garland now looking to trade on out. The Akati range comes on down, and it's a single target queue as well. So that rain is nice and concentrated. The Shy comes teleporting back on in. They'll get another inhibitor. Hell, that's the last one. It's the Shy. Just steps on forward to Xiaoye, who did have the ultimate. Gets the feather ball, but there's a stopwatch. And Xiaoye's heroics not quite enough. Flash on forward for the smite, and the Shy bleeds out to Climber.
The game will not end here. Despite IG, LGD very nearly beat JDG in the first round robin, so maybe there's something more to be said about this team. I thought that LGD started the year with this kind of roster might be the worst team in the LPL. They've been better than that, I will say. Look, they are going to lose here today against IG. Ocean Soul coming through, just the Nexus ready to take from IG.
Well, there's a phrase I coined yesterday. This isn't Valley League of Legends. It's not the opposite of peak. Entertaining as it is down in the valleys. This has actually been relatively decent. Still down Ocean Soul now.
We're down in the trenches today, folks. IG waiting for those minions to come through. They have Ocean Soul, they have double GAs, they have a lot of ultimates to throw at the enemy team. Let's see how IG choose to finish the game.
Charm comes on through, but in they go. JJ to the backside has been careening that way pretty much all game long. SCW goes golden, but unfortunately the damage is just way too much now. Shia does pick up one onto the Gwen. And they are onto the fountain. Chia comes on through. Wait. Xiaoye's gotten a few here. He can keep trading. Oh, no, on the Nexus. Gala flashing away, trying to get more. It's a triple already. How much can he get? He's desperately trying. Gala goes golden. The GA is there. And finally, he's brought low. He tried. He really did. Climber's still there. Try to eviscerate Mako and Gala. Hold the line. Invictus Gaming making a bloody end, but an end it is.
IG end the game through Gala on his Kai'Sa.
But now I am a little worried for the early lane power, particularly bot side. Could be really problematic to manage until that Ari and Vi are really online enough to come bail them out.
Yeah, going towards that realm. That's a huge mistake from Wayway. A huge mistake. He'll set him behind a Raptors camp. Now, what'll happen now is Shun will probably go mid lane to mid lane. He'll get himself not level 3 off of this, but Haichao might get pulled from behind here. Stun comes through from that. Now, Shun at level 3 will be threatening onto Haichao. It's going to be flash at minimum.
Oh, he doesn't get out of the stun either. Oh, my God.
Haichao flashes into...
Missing his name and called him the champion instead. Still going to get a good shove on top. So and continue to try and allow Shun to take away these grubs for free. That'll be 3 of them secured. Wayway does at least trade that out for the Dragon. Over comes Scout though, looking for the Weaver's Wall. That's going to leave Jaw caught under turret here. Do they want to take this dive any further? I think Photic wisely backing significantly further away. There goes Pace. Arcane shifting forwards into the damage from missing. Shun's here, charges into the wall, throws an upheaval at the Rel, overcomes Haichao, but it's still a 2v4 until the Weiwei Javai can turn up. Does get the Skarner back, but is shoved back over the minefield. Weiwei, no flash, now in danger themselves. Likely falls down, does so. Photic low, not quite down. Haichao trying to get the reset, does so. And now suddenly this Ahri flashing on over the wall, and JDG have overplayed it. Split their damage too much. Flash forward from Scout to finally pick it up. Zhou mounts up. Shattering Strike doesn't quite have the damage. Atalia picks it up.
How many people just sighed? Could be a huge loss condition.
At least Zucker's now stabilized. As I said, it's not 10, he's actually at 20, which is fairly significant here as a result of the weird lane shenanigans in that bot side in particular. Haichao going to be eating a fair amount of damage, but does have the ult. Doesn't get away from the Impale, though. Shun caught in the wall, will go down. That's nice. And now the rest of the fight can continue with Scout very low. Going to get charged down, and that's way too late on the teleport from Arlo, who's now caught very deep as 4 members of LNG collapse. LNG Gaming are about to get absolutely massacred on the wrong side of the jungle. The Chains of the Corruption landing onto the Jax. He's going to try and hop away, but there's turret shots coming on through. Photic with a piercing arrow comes on down. LNG take the kill lead.
Yeah, JDG not expecting the snap engagement draw on the Rel, who gets a really... He's going to like continually go through them. So he set up 3 different points. He comboed and then went through the 3 work ground bits to get some really good burst damage, despite the fact that he doesn't have items yet.
There you go. Well, good little Talia micro knowledge there.
I appreciate
it. I think he is going to die here. Nice combo from the Ambassador and the Vi. And the public execution comes on through as far as a con.
The thing about this, though, is they know this side if they go towards top lane. Well, there's no Vi here this time. So Haichao has his ult, has to pop it early to get out of that Karma W.
Where is the Unraveled Earth going to come on down?
Oh,
there it is! And what a read from Scout into the turret after with the 6 grub. Now, nice combo.
And that one was a seismic shove from the heavens. Really well played from Scout. Outplays Haichao. They'll break open their first turret of the game, which does give them a lot more options to play around. Yeah, Zucker's going to get himself this bot lane out of turret. It's kind of
I don't think will be, and it is still a very good combo with the Vi, and it's going to need to be a win condition. That second item already completed. Should be a potential terrorist missing in danger. Flash them forward for the mount up, and that's just a very dead Karma. They pick up the Herald, but at the cost of their support.
Yeah, it's a bit cheap from missing.
JDG did sneak away the second dragon spawn of the game, but you are certainly in a playable spot after, we said, the first few moments looked pretty difficult for the side of LNG.
JDG have 6 grubs. They've not actually been able to open up the map. Haichao's going to spot out Arla here.
Oh, he doesn't know where the Vi is.
Choosing not to go towards that play there, though. They spot Ahri, doesn't have teleport. They see no teleport. They go topside.
Sure gets over the wall, gets stunned up because he did it across the Unraveled Earth. Here comes the Weaver's Wall, and great shot accuracy from Pays brings down Jaw on the Royal. Nice combo from JDG. Yeah, no punish this time.
And this is the problem. You have the 6 grubs, and I was thinking, well, you know, they weren't pulling ahead with that. Now this is the problem. You make a mistake and the tower immediately falls. You can't really play around that. Haichao and Weiwei pushing towards the bot lane in a turret, but they won't be able to take it on this wave. They'll take another one. Arla losing out on some farm, but LNG a slip in the macro.
All the while, Photic shoving up mid, but they've got 6 grubs and 4 members. Zucker can't stand up and clear this wife. That's just a tier 3 dead.
And what was a good gold lead for LNG before this has gone to a deficit now. Yes, they will take it in a turret, but it's a 2 trade for... In fact, they'll get it now with the 6 grubs, presumably. Ooh, extra auto DOT. That'll kill a tap. JDG finally break another ring of that outer turret.
4th turret again, 6 grubs used well, and LNG were always a little bit of a slurp. JDG were always a bit of a...
Haichao and Vision, he's just walked over a control wall. There's another one here. Did they spot that? They do now. I think map geometry was getting a little bit strange there.
Can sometimes hide wards around corners.
Bit rare. You're looking to teleport in. Watch out to see Arla's angle.
Weiwei on a flank angle here too. He's been taken down by about a 1/3 on top of everything else. True Shot Barrage catches only Jaw. Arla on a flank as well. Weiwei into the pit now. It's going to be a smite fight, you would assume. Pace now down to half. Another good bit of poke landing. Zucker on the flank looking for public execution angle. Dragon secure between a smite piercing arrow combo.
So LNG walk away with that. Do they go for the fight? The Ambassador misses, but they go for the fight anyway.
Gonna try and find that engage. Flashing away. Shun doing his best to buy space, but missing his dead. Pace has to run away. Do get Arla onto the Vi and the Varus who go down. Zucker now in danger. Trying to back on out. Haichao burns the last tick of the ultimate. 2 for 2 in the grand scheme of things. Scout now looking for a seismic shove. Using that wall ride passer to keep the speed up and forces an additional flash. All the while, though, Dragon was secured and an even set of kills. JDG, though, not quite done yet.
No, there's no tower here either. I think their circuit's stuck here now. This is a big problem. It's gonna flash forwards.
Gets the unravel. True shot barrage, back off cooldown, tags onto the Ari, just out of range, but not for long. A scout finally picks up high tower. Another seismic shove. And the solo lanes of JDG come out tops.
When JDG needed it the most, Scout steps up. Incredible fight from him. Yeah, JDG end up losing the Dragon, but LNG end up going way too aggressive. Allows Scout to just kind of roll through, keep using that, you know, the rock surfing passive, and now they go on towards the Baron.
In a good position, but there's still the opportunity to flip. Again, look at Wayway. Can still find their way into the pit. Steal available, down to 2,500. Gonna get in, surely. Magnus Orb is still gonna be a secure on the smite there from the hands of Shun, who did get a good impale at the back end of it all. And now over the wall they go. Arleth goes golden. 3 members of LNG need to run away. Shun goes careening through the wall. Scout on that Shinkansen Weaver's wall. Bullets his way into the backline. Goes golden to prevent any follow-up. The slow comes on down to the high chow. Trying to land a charge, trying to get anything in the back end of it all, will not do so. Brought low, and that will be the end of the game. Surely the wave they prepared earlier, Blue Peter style. 6 grubs in a Baron and 1 man standing. LNG got nothing to say, as the game will surely end.
Here's one they prepared earlier. LNG fought valiantly, but it really is in Scout we trust. The mid laner of JDG beating his old team and sending LNG to 0-4.
That game ends in the blink of an eye. LNG were honestly feeling pretty tight with JDG.
Like a 28-game Rakan win streak.
Moly.
All the way back until, you know, the JDG super team. He's lost on it internationally, but within the LPL, missing 2 of the Alistair, Mako, Thresh, Braum. Thresh, Braum, you can play carry, and you could also play towards tanks as well, as Arla's got a really good growth jump onto him. Flash, gets it.
The JJ's here. That means it will be a turnaround. Was trying to play for an extended fight, I think, Bishai, and got punished for it. Will still end up being that 1-for-1. But the gold in lane, at least, now favouring Arla, because he was
away with the E at that point. I think he would have died if he tried to go towards it. As a jump into mid lane, Rookie caught out.
Needs to run as fast as he can, but with the ghost pop, there's nowhere to go. Rookie flashes into the pit. He's trying to survive. He's forced a flash out of Scout, at least. Doesn't have that much mana to work with. Lands the rune, Prison Burns, double summoners off Scout, but having just teleported back into lane, not a great deal for Rookie there.
Yeah, I mean, what he ends up doing is delaying Scout going back towards the mid lane to shove it in, up towards topside, but with Rookie now on this side of the map, I think that IG have the numbers. Can Scout protect the dive?
Oh, gets headbutt pulverized. There's still a seismic shove to work with here. That's going to mean a shove back onto Scout, who doesn't have flash or ghost available. Got the Mercury treads, though, which is giving him a fair amount of resist there. Missing goes in for the grand entrance and miss it. Arla ignited. Not quite dead. Trying to heal up with the 1,000 cuts passive and just about alive. A shock blast to bring him down. No! Oh my days, he's on 25 HP. Doesn't quite die. Somehow, someway, this Gwen is alive. Blast for the pulverize. Secures the kill onto Scout. Weaver's wall now coming across, looking for the angle on it. Gets the healing. Can't quite stay alive despite another decent set of snips. They kill both solo laners, but JDG made IG work for it.
JDG get themselves the dragon on the other side of the map and pay. Spotted fully in the entrance. IG get 5 grubs. They don't have to do anything particularly expressive after that point. Let the last one go over. Realm Warp now going topside though.
Flash away, but the Shy still slowed down. Decides to go all in, but there's a quickness and a nice angle from Scout. Great Realm Warp.
It was, but I actually think the mistake there is from Mako, JJ, and Rookie not protecting against the Realm Warp. The Shy pushed up top lane to make sure the grubs could be taken. IG must repay the favor by making sure.
Get 5 of the grubs. They will not claim all of them, and they lose.
Really good players about that. But yeah, playing down side lanes, definitely something which those 2 players have done so well. I completely agree. To make an impact on the Jhin so far.
Yeah, that one curtain call we saw wasn't fantastic. He's up a bit of CS, but he's still down gold. That shot blast missing is a bit sad. Still going to teleport in.
No flash for Arla.
That slow from to the skies alone is pretty good. We'll throw down the Hallowed Mist now. There's still a headbutt and a pulverize. Rookie trying to get inside the Hallowed Mist and does so. Great kill from Invictus Gaming, who now with the grubs can look to really push their luck.
That Jace is going to kill that entire turret. JDG might have just given 2 kills to the Jace to pull him ahead of the game.
Mako got chunked out there in the river, down to 20% HP. This thing is gone. Empowered autos from the hypercharge.
700 gold. He gets the kill on the outer turret as well. Arla Walking Force has Needlework, but he can't even chase him. Merc treads are more malnourished, so the Shy is so happy here. Yet there might be a chase onto it. Yeah, he might have actually died for this now.
Probably worthwhile, though. Honestly, Deadly Flourish comes on down. The Shy's going to go to the skies. Gets interrupted out of it, though, by a Vault Breaker. Flash for the Thundering Blow. Lands one. Looking for the second. Can't quite find it. Third goes wide. Q just wide. But a flash brings it into range. And Shun brings down the Jace.
All right, so JDG call a lot of members there. What's going to happen on the other side? They're going to turn one tower for JDG, but it feels like they're a step behind all the way.
Still took them a long time to kill Jace, and the extra flash, right? Like, it just didn't come easy. And honestly, I think for the Shy, you're happy with the amount of pressure.
On the map at every turn.
Look, all I'm saying is,
Mako,
you know
pace,
that...
Pace is going to combo him. What's he going to do here? Over the wall?
Over the wall, over the Weaver's wall as well. Pace's got nowhere to go. Wonderful combo from Invictus Gaming.
Mako, my dude, that was insane on the Alistair. Waits in the brush and pays. Sadly for him, just not able to make an impact. They'll immediately dunk the Herald down in mid lane. If it wasn't a sure thing killing that turret before, it absolutely is now. IG, again, they are a step ahead.
That was clean as hell. Make It Rain comes on down. Mid lane turret about to fall. 5 grubs and a Herald, meaning the Might army is in full force. At least with Spell Flux on
Rookie
the
going
right.
down towards that bot side to help overload that side of the map. While Scout, of course, didn't have the teleport to respond because he doesn't have the teleport. He's running that Ghost. JDG, they really needed something to hold this Jason check. They really needed to have a piece of the map they could claim on their own and force IG to be respectful of it. And that's just not been the case.
On here. Hey, surely.
Guess what? Yeah.
Go put that God.
Did you not just hear the bonk? It's one of the most satisfying sounds as the ult goes wide.
Gonna go ahead on forwards. Good pulverize the heal though from missing. Keeps the health bars topped up and they'll be just fine.
Yeah, so IG not able to find themselves the best play here. Mako's ult's gonna wear off now and we get ourselves into a bit of a standoff. This could be Flash engage from JDG at some point. IG needs to be a little bit careful. Flash Rune Prison. Flash Fire Ultimate Realm Warp going on to the Shy. He spots it, but they don't spot him.
Needs to be a bit where Arla's still got the snips available. They just tied out the
Pace!
Realm Warp on the other side because they Realm Warped away from him. Wonderful heads up stuff from Invictus Gaming. They pick off the Jin. On the other side, in a 2 versus 3, the Shy is not as he goes on in with Mako and help bring down to the Rune Prison. Finally gets something. Scout though, battle maging all the way to Gala. Auto, Q auto, doubles up and brings down some more. Add a card up and Invictus Gaming claim it.
Gala kills his old mid laner from LNG. As JDG fall apart, the Shy is not caught by the Realm Warp this time, saying the end of Missing's LPL Rakan win streak. 26 games in the LPL. He's won back-to-back to 26 times over. I don't have quite time to say that on broadcast here, but JDG, they put a lot on the line here. Wanted to, of course, they really want to pull one over on IG, but I just don't think it's possible at this point now. The gold leads get so scary, and yes, we were waiting for the Rise to become a huge factor. Giving over something like that GA with the Baron spawn, I feel like the map's going to fall apart now. I don't see what their answer is. Scout has a Realm Warp, he's pushing out in the side lane. Might be able to come down to the play, but feels like they're at least losing, they're definitely going to lose this turret. Can they defend their inhibitors?
That's a good question. At least Arla and Scout both shove out the side because the waves are all way back at tier 2 on the other side.
Shun gonna get cancelled out of his Qs. Is there anything more to be happening here? Because that pass is gonna come through. He doesn't have mobility anymore. His Q's gone.
Realm Warp coming, trying to keep him out of that. Won't do so. Realm Warp was burned to do it, but he does get out to safety.
And that's a big cooldown use now, though. Really well played from Mako. Cancels out that Q. Knows that Vibe. Combo another. Get a stasis. Maybe remove someone from the play. Very hard to play around it, though, when you're making mistakes like this.
Shun doing his very best to run away. Does have to burn the flash. Bullet time comes on through. Weaver's wall is there. Leaves Shun out to dry. Cease and desist. Buys a lot of healing with the seismic shove. Coming on through, though, there is not enough in the tank to keep Shun alive. He goes down. Smite out. IG turn to Baron.
Huge mistake from Shun. Too far from his team. And once again, not able to escape even with the massive mobility from the fight. No smite now. JDG, what do they do? Do they have to just look for a burst combo? They can't let this go down, surely.
Neko watching for the flank, goes on down there, running away. And Arla is just shoving out bot lane, saying, look, at least we got waves in top. Mildly shoved, at least the Gwen can get a shove out there. We'll clear out this wave now and try and fight around Infernal Dragon.
I think the idea is, look, they're pushing out bot lane. They can push in mid lane. It's a minute till Dragon. Maybe that's enough map pressure to fight towards that, but
over towards the Dragon we go. There is no vision for the side of JDG. Arla going to try and find his way on through. Hits a seismic shove, though. Does Rookie's Talia. Waco buying some space. Missing goes for a quickness. Does not find that soul. Missing is missing in action. Has to flash out of the back of the pit. Rookie goes flying on forward the GG. Trying to catch out. Shun is backing away. Scout throws down the ghost, but he's in a 1v3. Shun trading out with Rookie. Going as much damage as he can. Actually ends up doing a decent job. Burrows his way through a seismic shove, courtesy of the cease and desist. Rookie goes on down. Nice 1v1 from the side of the Vi with a little assist from the Jhin.
Rookie goes down. Scout will make it out alive, but there's a wave being pushed up in the bot lane with Baron buff available and Infernal Soul on it. Mako might die for this, but he just wants to stop the recall.
Shy's here, and that means you can go jumping on forwards and brings down Scout. Additional member dead. Your wave clearer is not here. That is the base broken wide open, and Invictus Gaming have surely just secured the advantage that will win them the game.
I think IG might have just seen themselves into first place in the group. JDG, the shove though, and Shun is out safe.
Hilariously, Shun was a level up on Rookie in that play as well. Has a decent job of at least staying in experience range for a lot of this game. Just not enough. Randuin's now completed for JJ as well. And last remaining turret outside of the base goes down in short order. Baron times out. But Invictus Gaming still have a lot of grubs to work with, still have a lot of gold to work with, still have an Infernal Soul to work with, and JDG have no way of contesting. They get a bounty, courtesy of Gwen, who's going to shove up onto the inhibitors. The problem is, an inhibitor will not a Nexus turret match. Especially as Missing gets bounced out of the sky, bullet time comes on down, Scout has to go golden, and that means he's rooted in place for a decent combo from the side of Invictus Gaming. Can't quite finish off the rise. Curtains are called, but I think it is just them who are going to be forced to take a bow, as Invictus Gaming will kick them off stage in pretty ignominious fashion at the end of it all. Gwen
trying their best. Ala trying to jump forwards. There's a chance they can walk around. Scout starting to run through a couple of those blue spells flying forwards. IG sticking around empty Nexus. I feel like they can just walk up to it again.
They can just wait it out. The ultimates are down. There is no needlework. And unfortunately for them, Ding Dong Gaming collapse at the end of it all. Invictus Gaming go 5-0 and live up to the Super Team moniker. They are looking absolutely fearsome in this group.
IG came into this year with bold plans, with ambitious plans. 4 dash champions into a Poppy. The Gwen also in a great spot to press W and to ignore a lot of what LGD wants to be doing in terms of jumping onto it. I think LNG walked away with it.
That's about it. Still not bad. Look to reset, does have that teleport, as you said. Climber hops away with the Eviscerate, but Joe still gets the Pulverize. There's the headbutt into the wall, but it's onto the Nautilus, who doesn't care all that much, actually, in the grand scheme of Xiaoye, though, very much does. Has to jump away with the flash and the barrier, but now the flash forward to the staggering blows, and way in danger. Hound's Pursuit ensures the kill. Mark 2 comes on the horizontal shore, not Photic. That might have been a slight misclick, but then again, there was the Ezreal E with the flash, so I take it back. Could have been dragged in the tower with that.
Yes, and also, Alistair has stood in front of everybody, headbutting back towards it, so I think that's the right choice from Climber. Just get the shield, get the damage. Maybe going a little too far. Photic needs to be a little careful. The double up! Photic walks forwards into the rebound. Shia gets an easy one. Freebie from Photic. Big mistake. One dying, but there's Alistair still on that side of the map, and they don't have the vision to spot out everyone. Sassy able to now recall 6 grubs, first dragon. LG are very happy on the objective game though. It can also crit. So if you go for full AD Silas, you can actually crit on that too. Sassy jumping forwards. Hai Chao does have flash. Needs to be a little careful though.
That's a very deep teleport from XQW. W comes on down, and yeah, that's not great, XQW, mate.
Why did he W? Just press your ultimate. You can't get stopped out of that one. Could have flashed as well. Big mistake by XQW. He uses that teleport and immediately dies.
We'll still lose the mid lane tier 1 as Xiaoye zones off Photic, but still, that one was a bit silly.
Very, very silly. I think LGD chose not to go towards Tower because they wanted to play towards it. They have the 6 grubs. The biggest thing that a grub advantage gives you is the ability to powerfully cross-map. So I'm going to go down, and I could get a half-second advantage and know that's going to happen. It's a fun one.
And sometimes it was the bug for a while as well, where it would go fully grey just before it came back up again.
Like, wow, they just used it. Like, no, it's just actually just coming back up. That was really annoying. You're right. Himself onto that dragon.
Does so. Gets himself in a pretty good spot at this point. Oh, nice interrupt on the hook, though. And that means there's no aftershock really for Y6 until just now. Good double knock-up with the depth charge, but overcomes Photic across the wall. YCX still alive, but only for a moment or two longer. But they spent a long time to do this. Can you get anything more? Between Worlds comes on through. Wei trying to find a way out. The bullet time is glorious, but they still lose the Aurora. Teleport now going through from Zucker, who is now here. But an Eviscerate, and the Hound's Pursuit allows a jump onto Photic. Sassy finally falls. It's a 3-for-3 right now, and Zucker needs to start running away. The Make It Rain comes on down. They can't get too much more. It is messy, messy stuff, but it ends up being even in the kills.
Really long
long time taken to kill the Nautilus. Really well played from YCX. Uses his W shield, uses the locket. You waste your Poppy W and stun onto people that aren't the Nefaria. That can be a problem. Wei might have a better chance this time, but what's he doing going in so deep?
Oh, Dredge line comes on through and it's wide, but the bullet time absolutely eviscerates a phase rush Poppy with just a Sundered Sky. You have no smite. And you can turn straight onto the Artican. Needlework is down.
I take it back. Maybe you can just rely on Wei doing that this game. I don't understand what he's doing. Rushes into the mouth of hell itself. LNG have to fight a 4v5 now.
True Shot Barrage chunks out SQW, and that's not bad. The turnaround, though, as Y6 comes on through with the depth charge, gets the knock-up onto the backside on high charge. Massive weirding onto Photic, leaves him down no HP. The HP bars, though, on LGD, not fantastic here. Xiaoya now feels he has to face check or hold the line because he's the one with the highest HP, but he can do it. Antican secured, LNG can't contest. Wei overplays his hand.
And now you've got an overlap of the GAs with the next Dragon Spawn and the next... You cannot play like that around big objective timers when you are meant to be. The counter Sassy will die on the top side of the map, but he will get the demolish, at least for the tower.
And again, he's got withdrawals. He can afford to die here. His turret for that. You burn 3 people. It's time to look where everyone else is.
Oh, and you have 6 grubs. LGD cross-mapping. That's something else. So normally, you know, when you're a best one, you're like, okay, cool. And, you know, listening in, but you occasionally looking off to the side. I just assume he's saying the right stuff, and I trust him to just yeah, don't just like, look, it'll be fine. Draw now. Hang on, what the heck's Draw? What's Zucker doing? There's 4 people on this top side of the map. Ezreal's heading over. Climber not here just yet, though.
Hang on, that's a lot of damage on XQW, who does have to withdraw.
5 seconds, 5 seconds left, but he goes back. Okay, all right. So they could have maybe denied that kill. I wonder whether they should have left that kill until later. That feels like a mistake. They could have killed him just as the GA ran off. LNG
they weren't timing that right, were they?
Didn't time that right at all. They see it. You can see it on the champion health bar. LNG, big mistake there. That could have given them a huge advantage around the Baron.
Double dagger, Dark and Daggers goes wide. Double Daggers is IQ. Slightly wrong dagger, but here comes a double TP.
Because they didn't kill them, there's another player coming into the fight.
Here they go, looking for the angle between worlds. Good knock away, does prevent the Jax coming on in. Jaw flashes on out. They do kill off XQW. Defensive work complete. Zucker now looking to turn this around as the True Shot Barrage is in.
Yeah, poor play there from XQW. LGD have been given an advantage where they shouldn't have been able to. LNG used some of their cooldowns to take withdrawal that should have been a straight kill, but LGD flubbed the engage. And sadly for them,
you heck it.
They're 2-manning it right now. That's a good bullet time. Forces the ult out of Alistair. Shia not got that big teamfight tool now available. Baron is still being burned though.
But it's bought enough time, and then XQW and YCX buy so much time. They kill off the Alistair and get the Baron. They can afford to lose a member or two here. They just need to keep running. XQW goes across the veil. Flash on forward for the W. Can't quite get it. Assassin, massive counter strike. Weirding comes on down. They do finally bring out the bully rabbit down. Xiaoya looking for an angle, and they go forward with a hound pursuit. Photic cannot get over the wall. High tower flashes, but this Corki cannot do quite enough. He gets an additional one, but in the end, it is still a triple to Climbers the Fury.
With the Baron buff still up in 6 grubs, this will be at least an inhibitor. Withdrawal respawning, I think that's enough to dissuade the actual end of the game.
30 seconds.
But LGD have just crushed through this game, and LNG might be locked into the bottom of this group by LGD 2-0ing them from LGD, because Climber not on the same page on the rest of his team. Once again, though, Wei misusing his W. The Nefaria has never stopped in any of this. This has been a very poor team fighting game from LNG. It's picture-in-picture, the fight comes back.
Oh, bullet time comes on down, that's jungler out. You do lose your support, but I think the value here is just fine. Nice W to ignore the needlework. The dog not put under. Hates the vet as much as your pet.
Climber, so much damage. We asked the question in Champion Select. This is not a counter-pick Nefaria. In fact, the Nefaria's been countered herself by the Poppy. Pop up in solo lanes, largely in jungle right now, but we were hearing that Dermby was playing it. Gonna get themselves an Ocean Soul. Insult to injury for LNG.
Yeesh.
LNG took that fight on the entrance to the Dragon, maybe trying to set.
He's running at Mach 5 and hitting like a damn speed train. We'll be going on to the tier 2 over here as well. Final remaining tier 2 in the game for LNG. Without the Baron, but I think at this point you are in a dire situation as LNG. It is a miracle and maybe an Elder Flip, perhaps your only way back into this.
Yeah, LNG on life support, really. Jax hopping over the wall to make sure that can shuffle in that wave there. Haven't really seen much of a Jax versus Gwen 1v1.
No.
It's not really been the core of this game. Good Q over the wall. The bullet time as Photic steps up too far. E not quite taking them out of range. Takes an extra ticks of damage. LGD will use that chunk to keep walking forwards.
go. Sassy now in danger though because he just used the leap strike. They're going to go to the back end of this XQW, looks for the angle, gets the leap strike out to Sassy, and the Hound's pursuit comes on through. The only thing knocked away are the dogs as Climber uses that core to the back to involve some more damage. Sassy still low but not taken out. The damage all has to run away, and that leaves Zucker split off from his team. YCX gets a hook on the draw, and the stakes are once again raised high as LGD will go careening towards these Nexus turrets. And LNG in their home arena will have the ignominy of going 0-5.
A fall from grace does not cover it. Laugandia will survive the group for now. They will be at least in third. Genuinely determine your tournament lives here.
I will say though for JDG, the last time we saw Gwen be truly meta, it was often alongside the Shinta because you could put the double Thunderdomes out.
Most underrated counter picks, but as we see, Shun is looking for something in the top lane. He knows Sassy doesn't have flash.
Counter-Strike comes on down, but it's just shy on Arlo. They go snipping on forward. Shun, flash for the audacious charge. The wind becomes lightning, and Sassy eats the lightning.
Sassy, too bold in the early trade.
Side on the Shinsao. Dropped a number of camps to make very aggressive plays. Bot side dive now on the cards. Starting to stack up the 3 talent strike on the wave. Can look on forwards. We'll have it ready to go. Flash away from Xiaoye. Gets missing. Xiaoye stands and delivers. Pays. Trying to find an angle. They will surely bring down the Varus. But my day, Xiaoye. Good work there.
I thought that wasn't going to work out for LGD because no one was taking
something as well, although I can't remember what the meme is there. There are some very funny names. Shun is, hang on, he's behind enemy lines, so he might be able to kill someone. Here we go.
There's missing with the double pull, but here comes the Weaver's Wall. JDG spring the trap, and YCX asks, why were you there?
I mean, you know, the little frog actually gets out of the river, safe enough, you know. But good catch by the side of the JDG.
What's that meme? I'm like, I'm out of my lane, unmoisturized. I'm so bothered right now. Whatever that dude
My skin is dry.
Yeah, you know frogs can breathe through their skin. Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
No,
Right,
I'm not a little frog though, am I?
No, you're not. Xiaoye left on line 3. Doesn't have that flash from the earlier dive. That should be a dead verse. Shun has had a massive blast in this early.
Ooh, gets one back. All right, YCX.
Get one back.
That's not that great still.
The thing is, you are now dropping a wave of XP on that Varus, who did get some value earlier. Wonderful early game from Shun. He has impacted top lane, he's impacted mid lane, he's impacted bot lane. He has even someone like Tien or Kanavi can play a little bit, say, look, I'll go for the camp steal instead of what.
I'll play for myself on a farm lead level. Yeah.
Look, Shun, for better or for
social media guys, that you need to watch Severance. Just a cold DM, like, go watch Severance.
Hang on, SQW pulling the ult there. Not able to get that much of a good trade, though. Of course, hang on, there could be a combo here from Scout. Scout could go for a bigger play here.
Just about gets away with it. Hang on, the threaded volley. He's going to get the wall ride available to him in a second. He's going to force a Shuriken flip. Wall comes flying on through. Scout wants it. Look at Sassy, though. Can potentially come and join. Buying time with the Shroud, but overcomes missing. There's the counter-strike over the wall, and Scout goes down. XQW picks it up. In they come with the Hound Pursuit. Missing will finally get the kill, but it's still a 2-for-1.
Climber manages to clean something up as Scout doesn't get the right Q direction for XQW. Somehow Sassy comes.
League of Legends general, which is response time, and that doesn't always have to be throwing your body into the play. It can be something like a global ultimate or a long-range skill shot that can help too. Zeri's E can also apply to this too, just flying over a wall and taking up the right point. But plenty of champions like that can be a nasty moment. That's a needlework thrown out, but the Protobelt helps to disengage. XQW being bullied around by the Gwen in the top lane. But yeah, the response time from JDG, very good. Dragon on the bot side of this map, spawning soon. YCX comboing.
Different angle on here. He does have to flash back. He gets knocked up by the 3 talent strike regardless. Missing. Burns the ult. Y6 though down that flash. Potentially problematic as XQW looks for an angle. Misses the Shuriken flip. And Pace gets out safe. I think he was trying to read where the E would go.
And while all that's happening, Arlo's pushing top lane. There's going to be another plate down. They force the teleport from Sassy to make sure that that doesn't get completely blown out. LGD, a couple of missed plays there. YCX getting punted into the team. A missed E. Not great from LGD because once again, it costs them that gold. And that gold lead is expanding more than we're comfortable with.
That is nearly 3,000 gold now. Luther Dragon, that would have been dragon stacking. It's not easy stuff, and it's kind of just off. LGD looking for plays, not quite landing them, and all the while, the side lanes, the wider map resource gathering going better. YCX face checks while the Dragon's going on down, will crash down away, but it's just not far enough out. You can run, and 2 does not beat 4 in this occasion.
That is the response time we were talking about.
Yeah, I think that's just JDG when there's 4 people in a brush waiting for you.
And he just used that flash. So now, I'm looking forward to the next few minutes of play, because, you know, we're talking about what's happening on the screen. What's this going to lead to next? So we have, significant on that last cue, as
Shay walks back, and this on-hit Varus, who is saying, well, doesn't deal in mid lane as well with the Ezreal, and probably doesn't have the easiest time in the team fights. I wonder whether this on-hit Varus was a mistake.
Horizon, and you were a bit worried about it. Had to prove himself too. Sassy finds the all-in though. Flash over the needlework, trying to get the last auto, does so! And out of the turret he goes. YCX prevents Missing getting involved. Solo kill for the Jax. On the other side, SGW in a 1v2. Scout brings down the Akali.
So at least Sassy gets something back in that matchup. We were saying the side lanes weren't looking good for the side of LGD. Missing left alone under turret. Now is anyone else coming up? This could be a dead Alistar. He wants to. Doesn't have that. I wonder whether LGD go for a dive there. Climber has the ability to look for a fight hit.
The double daggers, but Pay's now over. Begins to throw out a few autos, but the dogs are pretty good at blocking Ezreal Qs.
This is mistakes in League of Legends. Playing both sides of the map at once. You've just made a big play topside and you've shown them you can't go for an individual play on the other side because you're on the weak side of the map. You must play more patiently. Back to live, Ala finds himself in the better side lane matchup versus that Akali, which I do think he does win.
1800 gold for Scout on this Talia. He had a really good showing on that earlier versus LNG. Really helped break open the game. TP
Teleport,
behind.
Ala no TP.
YCX one looking for play, couldn't quite do it. XTW on the flank, looking for the double counter strike. Does that onto Scout, who's got he's got the Seraph shield to stay alive, and they can't make the teleport work. Missing burns the ultimate. Sassy now in danger as he's hit by the wind becomes lightning, and JDG burns some flashes but disengage.
And JDG have the Gwen alone in the side lane. That's a tower down for them. So JDG win out on the strategic point of it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to pull in the Jax for that play. Like, you get the stun, and now Ala is gonna get collapsed on, but I don't think you quite have the gap closed. There's no flash on the Jax. Yeah, you have the Akali, but is the Akali enough to set up a play?
Sassy's waiting for Shun. Will actually find a fairly decent counter-strike angle here as XQW has gotten a lot of Ala's HP down.
Needlework!
Is good! As the Needlework comes on in, well, I'm struggling to remember words. Do get the initial kill, Ala. Still looking for the snip, so will be a reticle on the Hound's Pursuit available. Doesn't use it until a little bit too late, I fear. And now he's gone on in. Nice sidestep the other way as Ala is just doing a wonderful job of skipping over their graves. Climber does manage to get some immunity with that W. Can't quite land the snips. The daggers come off, but Missing's here now alongside Pays. It's suddenly a 2v3. Climber's got a glimpse shield and no dream as Pays gets the other.
The scissors cut the thread short of LGD. And the fates have determined Ala is the main character of this game. Fantastic play.
Still got Ignite.
Still has the Ignite. As LGD, I don't think they expected that play to go so long, but then the Gwen gets so much value in extended fights.
Well, how do you expect it to not go long? You don't have the setup, you don't quite have the gap closed, and Xiaoya might just die here in the middle. Pops the barrier, Flash Missing's engaged!
As the pulverized Harold's octaves go up a few times, the Xiaoya goes 6 feet under in response. Ain't that a wonderful counterbalance? And
it's still just Exodia at this point. Yes, Climber, decent play to, clean up some kills. Was probably too late on that Ulber. You called that out. Didn't really believe in his teammate. Maybe waiting on cooldowns. Close to outplaying in a way that only Niviri can into live. That's at least a kill back.
Fortunate that YCX picks it up. I can hear Harold groaning there. It's a bit annoying, but hey, you take the kill where you can get it. Climber has the reset. Looks to go forward. On to Missing. Pulverize comes on through to disengage somewhat. Dragon is up, and you are up a member. LGD, I think, will take this opportunity to at least claim a second Dragon for themselves.
I mean, at least the killing pace gives you the control that you need in the river to try and force this breakdown. Xiaoya is there to get the extra DPS on the Climber. You know, the Neferi changes have made it so much easier to just be more proactive in the jungle, being able to solo these objectives.
When looking for a 1v1, well, Jack looking for a 1v1 topside, have we got ultimate just yet? No, not quite yet. This 1v1 could get a little bit close. Needlework pulled means it's not available for the fight if there is a teleport pulled.
Needlework and Ignite.
Yeah, looking for an angle. The right on that one. In comes the Twilight Shroud. The Rocket Belt burn as well. Climber jumped over the wall, immediately has to call the pack to avoid Shun finding a 3 Talon Strike. And this Xin Zhao actually winning out in those 1v1s purely because of how strong he got early. The Neferi not enjoying that right now. Oh my days! Flash for the counter strike, gets it! Everyone overcomes the rest of JDG. The response time is good, but it is not fast enough to save Ala. 1-for-1 at the top side.
You can criticize Sassy for a lot of things, but you cannot call him
he ain't no bitch, baby. Let's go. Still playing this one out. XQW eats a bit of damage, looking for a decent angle back. Can't quite find it. Lands a shuriken flip, but I don't think we'll go on forward quite yet. Shouldn't blast for that. As the seismic shove comes on down, and Rel is brought low.
Sassy really embodying Jax's personality, just saying, who wants a piece of the chicken? He just goes for the fight. He keeps fighting. He knows he has the cooldown advantage. Once the needlework is down, once the ignite is down, he has the stat check potential. The counter strike.
Going again.
And we're going again.
Sassy coming up in 2 seconds, has the teleport as well. Tower will die here, but can JDG retreat? There's a Kali on there already. There's another teleport from the Jax. Both solo laners coming into the play.
Scout's in danger, half HP. We'll have a Seraph to work with, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough. Flash away, out range of the R2 from XQW. Seraph's now timed out, looking for a good angle. Misses the Shuriken flip, but there's a house pursuit, and he goes careening across the unraveled earth. Breaks his ankles. Finally, Scout is brought down.
Yeah, LGD didn't raise no bitches for solo laners. They teleport in.
Oh my days.
But they lose in the 1 for 2. Can't close things down as Scout flashes away from Scout. It means that Scout gets to flash away from both solo laners and force XQW to really overextend for that. Yeah, Scout goes down, but he buys a lot of time. Scout in great form today. Sassy counter-striking.
Sassy trying to find an angle, but it's down to no HP. He's just dead. And now comes Scout with the Weaver's Wall. Climber has to back away. SQW went looking, and the cries of pain from my analysts as they witness what is going on here. That'll be a tier 2 for JDG alongside the kill. 6,000 assists for Missing.
Missing multi-time LPL champion. Maybe seen better days, but a milestone for him here in our today's group here in the LPL. 6,000 assists just behind Xiaohu, the King of Spring, the Tiger of Spring rather.
Echo, of course, way ahead of them all since 2015, of course. As they head towards Atakan, do the side of JD.
Started LGD. Even if they were to get a contest, I think they'd die on the attempt at a steal. They see it going down. What's the angle here? Can you find a miracle? That feels like nothing short of that will work.
Well, there's the headbutt. Not going to find the seismic shove, though, because a well-timed call of the pack. Hayes just blind hitting XQW in the shroud, though. They did kill off Scout. Nice start. The problem is, on the other side, Ola's just murdering the Varus. Sassy gets over the wall, Pays looking for an angle as Climber keeps running away, gets a decent amount of burns as YCX now in danger. Has mounted up, will need to crash down somewhere. Shun is running down 3 people, by the way, as a lone jungler. XQW will go invisible. They need to back away from the turrets! Oh my god! He ain't no bitch, we said that one before. Shun on the warpath. We all know where his office is. It's wherever the enemy are. Climber back to the fountain, but they are in the enemy base.
Get yourself a jungler that dives inhibitor turrets 1v3 and walks away the winner. JDG, they didn't take the baron, but they don't need it. They walk in for an inhibitor turret, and the inhibitor itself, they're going towards mid lane as well to clean that one up. The game won't end here, but the game is well and truly broken.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about MLXG and, you know, his dives between tier 1 and tier 2 at 6 minutes with the Nocturne. Shun just takes it a step higher. He just dives an inhibitor turret alone 1v3 and takes 2 kills. I think, honestly, like... we're still fighting. Oh, cool.
We are still doing SQW is going to come on in. Lancer Shuriken flip, but immediately there is an ultimate. The Zeke's convergence comes on down. YCX loses all of HP, whereas Paige just says, cool, are you sure? And the answer is no, as the TP's come flying on through.
Response time.
There we go, Ala's there, goes on forward, the Needlework's coming on down, and Xiaoye disappears from the face of the earth. Climber will be climbing into hell as XQW is going to try and blast get them out to safety.
Scatter!
Oh boy, there goes YCX down. I need to drag the octaves back down as well so everyone can still hear it. Glass shattering at risk. Climber tries to go untargetable and does so, but only for a second or two as the seismic shove is there. 23 kills for JDG, 10 over to LGD. It is a bloody, bloody game, as it always is when LGD are involved. Base under threat.
Shun making up for some of his blushes earlier versus Invictus Gaming, 9-1 and 8 on Xin Zhao. Shun has shown absolutely no mercy. Truly the successor to MLXG as LGD bite the dirt.
There will be no tiebreaker. There will be no contest over which position our teams are in. JDG decidedly second. LGD left to play off for heaven or hell, Ascension or Nirvana.
Yeah, JDG really took it to them, you know, really good on the side of LGD.
Pretty good. I think we'll do that.
IG, not really that much engaged for them. They have themselves a Braum in terms of lane value, but really does feel...
Maybe they're gonna just jump in once the blue buff is low enough.
Here we go, Joving on forwards. There is smite available for both sides, looking to just keep trading forward. Massive damage back with the hounds on. And look to just try and take this one out. Flash for the smite. But what happens now as a result of not having the flash? JJ just keep chasing down. I think Weiwei's just died for it.
JJ solo kills Weiwei for first blood in his own jungle. Weiwei flashes for the smite, but had already used his... for this. Support's roaming up. Draw does have flash.
Oh my days, it's going to be a bit of a kerfuffle. Mako lands the initial Q. Potential for that smite fight secured by JJ, but now the crash down comes across too. High Chow now turning up. Rookie going to flash to the other side. Equalizer comes on down from the Shy. Sorry, from Zucker, I apologize. Realm Warp denied. IG gone so deep for this, and they're going to lose 2 for it.
Where's Gwen? Is Gwen coming up as well? Here comes the Shy. The needlework will start to get damage down. How much will it get? The Shy's going to maybe get
Holy
one.
moly. Look at JJ's health bar being very, very low. The whole of LNG still just about alive. The Shy not quite in range to get any more. Can't get the snips. LNG get 2 and all of the rest of them survive.
No idea how IG don't walk away with anything from that one.
Lockdown that they can bring. But this is going to be a 2v2 skirmish in the top side. There's a level advantage for Zeka, but he's just out of the heat.
Just have Weiwei in here. There's going to be the turnaround, and now the Shy without the Hallow is in danger because he'll look for the kill. Tries to get the call back. Will get one back, but Weiwei with so much HP, really threatening. Flash for the permafrost, and a nice counter gank from Weiwei.
Much better from Weiwei. Terrible early game, and now it's sat there at 2-1-2. The ambitious early pathing not paying off with the skirmishes later. But the Shy's in danger of 1v2 is exactly what IG need to avoid. They need to be snowballing through the early game.
And Weiwei off on the side, just jump forward. He's gonna slip forwards. Oh no! That's the Shy in danger. Out comes the permafrost. The Shy will dive. The wave is an awful spot. He tries to get a ward down and dies for it. Dragon secured, but the vision came. That's one way of putting it. High Chow dodges one of the needleworks. Should be another one to come on through. Flashes that one, but there's still the counter pursuit to come on forwards. Eviscerate forwards, and High Chow is taken out. Gwen gets that kill, and they can play towards a little bit more of that side lane.
Yeah, Grubs are taken on the top side by LNG after their dive forwards there. Gala just be a little bit careful. Of course, with no Kaiser ult, no real follow-up, but still, Sejuani has pulled the trigger for less before. Draw off vision, and that might be a start of a fight.
Yeah, for walking towards that boy. Here comes Joe. Mako now in danger. Needs to have an opportunity.
No summoners this time.
Behind him, and Mako still goes down. Photic picks that one up, and LNG in a great spot right now.
I have to say, Dwarf's having a great game.
Yeah.
This Rel has been the architect of a great number of these plays. Burned both of Mako summoners before.
Still, we took a game of them playing our style of play. We played meta. They didn't play any weird champ. They played meta champ. As you see here, a little bit of a skirmish in the bot side river.
Here we go. Watch Weiwei, and then goes short at the back end of it. Photic got a decent angle. Mako's just going to die. Gets the Glacial Fissure off, but not really to much avail. Dark and Daggers land onto Weiwei, but again, no real angle here for IG. Nice pick off, a nice collapse from LNG.
Why has it taken 6 games to see LNG play this coordinated? Why has it taken this long to see them pick fights this well? It was one of our big problems earlier in the day where it has ult, might go onto JJ, has to press that W, but doesn't press it at the right time. Luckily, the skill shot goes wide.
Hang on, potential turnaround now from JJ. Could look to go forwards. Is there going to be a Hound's pursuit angle onto Zucker, especially now he's just been hit? Eviscerates forwards, gets a decent juggle to draw, will not pull the R trigger onto the Rumble, interestingly. And so Rumble gets out alive. I'm not sure whether he's just out of range or out of vision, but decides against it, equalizing.
I still think will be a factor, particularly, if you put them into the other matchups in this game. The question is, really, how much can High Chow do now? He's ahead.
The Shy has been equalized with Zeka. Zeka on this Rumble still has that one item power spike that is definitely stronger than the Gwen. Gwen is going to outscale later on, but right now you're giving the advantage to LNG in any skirmishes, but Joao might look for something.
Yeah, and this is going to be a bit of a problem.
Mako.
Mako caught out again.
That's a nice punish, and again, Mako will try and stand behind Gala. Not too much avail, though. JJ is here, though. They burned a little bit here to kill off the Braum.
High Chow about to get his summoners back on the other side. There is a teleport on Rookie, but he can't teleport right now.
2-level advantage in the jungle here. Maybe he can still look to turn this around, especially with the Shy looking for an angle on in. Photic also going to have the equalizers there. Flashed away from Weiwei with a Hound's Pursuit means Weiwei will die. Can't get a reset on Zucker, just about to have the rail warped in. Just enough CC to prevent the Shy from getting an additional kill. Rookie can't get it either. Zucker is on no HP. Oh my days.
But it's more than 0. Rookie, though, might not be quite so fortunate. Using that passive to get away.
Rumble is available.
Yeah, but it's a Glacial Prison too. I think that'll be quite hard to do. 1 second up on that one. There's the Arctic Assault forwards. Rookie going to try and keep running. Doesn't quite have the passive proc. There's the Glacial Prison. Will not interrupt the Realm Warp, though. Is now. And now Rookie goes down. What about the response time? Is there anything happening? Just a tier 2 shove from Gala and Maker.
Yeah, you can see as soon as the members appeared on his screen, Gala rushes towards mid lane. The Shy rushes towards top lane. Push in those waves. Make sure you're farming up more of that. Rookie not able to escape. He does go down, but IG at least getting something in the other lanes.
Yeah, IG are really good at like punishing this overextension on the side. So many TPs hold to make the play happen. Yes, this will be the first straight going to LNG, but this is also going to be the two tier 2 turrets going down. The Shy is going to force this one out onto the equalizer.
Yeah. 100,000 gold! Yeah, and we saw this earlier against JDG. IG, they have their power spikes now. Howard's going to go towards top side.
Oh boy.
Shy needs to be a little bit careful.
You're also aware, of course, with the Atakan run, if he dies there for free, it would be a very swift turnaround into that particular neutral objective. In fact, did see Wei just turning back there for a second. JJ in the river will fire his dogs all over the place with the blast cone. They'll quickly rejoin him.
Harold's not going to get a charge on the turret. LNG, do they feel ballsy enough to set up the Atakan? Probably not right now.
There is a wood in the river, there is knowledge of their position. Mako and Gala are walking up, trying to see whether they can contest that vision, taking away whatever LNG have tried to set up. Gala.
Oh, the Shy's just gone! Shy's just gone! The Ignite's used, the Shy uses Ghost, and he dies for free!
What about Joy in the river, though? Takes a big chunk there. Might die. Glacial Prison to the backside. Mako now in danger. Not the best engage ever. The Equalizer's still available, though, as in goes JJ and Rookie. They kill off the Realm, but lose everyone else. Where's JJ going?
How does Gala die so easily like that? Uses both the summoners and dies anyway. The Shy setting up the outnumbered fight for LNG. And now JJ's left alone on the top side. He'll die shortly.
Gotta feel it. He's got to do something here as JJ in danger. Throws out the Darkin daggers. Goes untargetable. Try to buy some space and time, but Haichao will go Valkyrieing forwards. Eviscerate the healing, not bad with the Darkin daggers. Flashes away, just about alive as the Eviscerate comes on through. Can look to heal off the Gromp here, but that's still going to be Atakan surely to LNG, right? TPs.
Hang on, what's the teleport to? It's the Gwen teleporting. JJ gets so many Q2s on bled targets that he gets so much healing. They can maybe go towards this again. JJ, has he got it? I mean, the Atakan's died. Can they find themselves a fight afterwards? The Shy has Needlework coming up in 5 seconds.
Literally teleported to JJ's dogs. That's how they got there, because there was no wards available. Here we go. I think he's still taking a lot of damage in the 1v5 and dies. Invictus Gaming. Why are you like this? What? Why?
JJ does so much good work, and the Shy just TPs in, and it's not enough. There's still so much.
Investigator, I suppose. IG, look, they're still within touching range of gold. You still need to kill off Gala early into a fight. IG still have the tools to fight back, but they haven't looked great so far.
The Shy on the flank window, looking to jump with the floating and draw. Draw still has the crush now. Use of the scattering strategies might be a flag fight, but
doesn't quite find it. True Shot Barrage doesn't really clip anyone
Mako.
either. Mako, why are you there? Lands the Glacial Fissure onto a couple, manages to dodge away, but then there's the Glacial Prison onto Rookie, who will land his own Rune Prison. Goes hopping over the wall, way away, just about burns out. Here comes the Realm Warp, and suddenly Invictus Gaming have found an angle, but the Equalizer comes on through. The Shy slips him down. They've gotten a hold of Photic. Trying to get a few more as the Needlework comes flying on through to Zika, and it's a triple kill to Gala. Baron is up, but IG say enough playing around.
As we said, IG had the tools. It was a feel-good moment for LNG, but IG, all right, they stop clowning around. They get back into the clown car, and they drive over towards the Baron. IG get themselves their gold lead back, and they get themselves the big objective.
Zeka delaying the Zonia's purchase to go towards the Shadow Flame. He does have the Seeker's Arm Guard, but he doesn't use it. This Rumble is the most uninfluential 5-1 and 6 Rumble.
Fight's over. Fight's over. Go home. You're dead. Triple kill to Ezreal. Game falls apart.
Soul Point on the line now for Invictus Gaming, and they're up 3,000 gold. This is a bizarre game. God bless Invictus Gaming, folks. It's never boring when they're on the Rift, that's for sure, as LNG. Gonna be wondering how this game has ended up in this position. Very unusual state of the game for sure. JJ thinking about hopping on over. Does so with that blast cone, throwing out a couple daggers. Won't find anything especially valuable. Look at Zucker off to the side though. Can look for a big equalizer. Is now on vision himself. True Shot Barrage chunks Joe, but no one else really.
Kind of time and hang on a second. Rookie sees him on vision. Here comes JJ. An angry dog there.
We'll go into the statue form that is immediately eviscerated. JJ picks up another.
Yeah, honestly, JJ having so much presence on the map. This dog is everywhere. Who let them out?
And honestly, JJ, I've been so impressed by this guy. So many people have, they saw him win Worlds and just thought, oh, that's the end of his career. That's fine. We haven't seen him again because he hasn't been international since Worlds. 2021. Really, really exciting player, though, here. Now back in the LPL again on IG.
He's nearly flame horizoning again in the jungle. For all we've seen some really good team fights from Weiwei. He's down a couple levels. He's down 90 CS here as well. That's going to become increasingly problematic. 3 items at least done for your double AD carries. You've got a couple done on the Rumble as well. You've got some damage here as long as you can find a bit of CC onto a key target, as long as GHA doesn't just pop someone for free.
Yeah, as soon as that dagger hits, the Black Cleaver fully stacks, and then the second one shreds it.
Yeah.
It just completely blows you open. IG.
Oh,
Troll goes in.
Nice equalizer after. That's actually pretty good. Mako staying alive. Foden finds a good angle. Geller flashing away, but still goes down. Nice moment. They'll still lose their Corki as JJ begins to re-engage. Could look to Hans Pursuit. There is a needlework. Absolutely crushes them. Hound's Pursuit keeps on flying. They ain't exhausted yet. And off to the races they go. It's a dog after a bone. The graveyard of LNG.
You can send the Shy to 1-5, but you can't stop him being a late game menace. Goes in towards the Nexus turrets, and IG look to close the game.
Honestly, IG, the patience on the re-engage is what changes the fight. The Shy holds the 3rd charge of the Needle Ward until all of LNG are stacked.
And as it stands, Invictus Gaming right the wrongs of Split Ron. They will be going 6-0, undefeated, and in, of course, Invictus Gaming style.
LNG 0-6 on the other side of